Hey, 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 time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. And today, we have a little bit of a suspense story. There's two parts. Part 1, where the victim is not sure, although he confronted her in a weird way. And Part 2, where we find out what happened when she came back from her trip. We put the story for you in a way where you can see the community comments before and after. It's amazing how there's a lot of valuable and accurate advice shared in that post. Let's jump right into it. Before the conversation. I don't know if I have a cheating story. I tried to post this the other day, but the account was too new, so I might need to add an edit for updated news. I am a stay-at-home dad because of a medical condition. I, male 34, have been married to my wife, female 33, for 7 years with a son, 6. He will be starting school soon. My wife and I have had a nice life together. We have sex 1 to 2 times a week, sometimes more depending if my affliction is acting up. It was decided I would be a stay-at-home dad when I started to miss work when my health issues started about 3 years ago. So here is the reason for the title. My wife is traveling for work. She does not travel much, but does on rare occasion. This travel is planned as she has a conference and is going to have meetings at another of her company's locations for training purposes. So she was packing her suitcase. She had it opened on her bed putting her things in. I was helping. Using a mental checklist, we were checking off the list so she did not forget anything. Last minute, I said that I did the laundry and her PJs were clean in the laundry room. She went off to get them. In the meantime, I thought I would slip a love note from myself and one from our son into the bottom of the suitcase, telling her how much we love her and will miss her. As I pulled up the clothes, I noticed the bottom layer is a set of lingerie I have never seen. She usually does not wear lingerie. I am beyond hurt. I slip the notes in when I hear her coming back. My mind is going 100 miles an hour. My worst fear is happening. Because of my affliction, I have felt less than a man and that she would leave me. I stay silent. We go to bed. We have sex. She could tell that I was off. I just said my health issue was the problem. This has been the case in the past. We go to sleep. The next day, I take her to work. She was taking an afternoon flight, so I drove her to work. Then, we came back later and drove her to the airport. During the day, my stomach in knots, I was going to pull the lingerie out of the suitcase. That really would not stop her from cheating. So I went to the store and bought a box of condoms. I put them on top of the lingerie with a note for her not to bring me anything home. So, she has been gone 2 nights. We talked the first night after she arrived. The next night, she called at my son's bedtime. I have a special ringtone for her. So, when her call came in, I was reading to my son who was in bed. I gave him the phone to answer. She talked with him a few minutes to wish him good night. He then handed me the phone. She had disconnected. I guess she found my notes. Edit. The lingerie is the type you would wear to bed, not a bra and panty set. So, now I have to wait. She comes home Friday afternoon. I have already called my parents asking if they are up for a visit this weekend. Let's see some of the community responses. First from Smelly Melly 2. Can you grab phone records? I'd definitely have a conversation, even if it's over the phone. Regardless, I'm sorry I know the gut-wrenching feeling. No matter what, your being sick doesn't make you less of a man. Period. You are not lesser because you can't work outside the home. I would talk to someone to delve into these feelings. You are strong. You will get through this. Another comment from The Starin. Right now, she's thinking you caught her, but doesn't really matter that much what she thinks. It's what you're going to do next that matters. Contact a lawyer. Split your finances. Individual counseling for you and your child. Gather any evidence you can, but hire a PI if you can, so you don't end up pain shopping. Once everything is set up and you have the divorce filing in your hands, slap her with it and watch her reaction. If she has some sort of meltdown, you'll need to be ready for that with audio and video and at least one other person as a witness. My suspicion is that this may very well be an exit affair. Sorry to have to tell you this, but your marriage with this woman is over. How about what Daston72 says? I think you should make a plan to get some solid evidence about your wife's affair. Then, if you want to divorce her, then it might help you a lot. Hire a PI or install spyware on her phone so that you can read her calls and messages. Don't ask her in point blank, or she's going to be more careful next time she's hiding her stuff. Meanwhile, take care of yourself. Get someone close who you can trust to talk about this, or the depression may eat you. Quote and Bubby says, I think the OP Should trust his gut feelings because if she doesn't use those at home, why would she use them on a business trip? OP, prepare for the worst, and it can only be better than worse. Good luck. Next comment's from That One. Just to play devil's advocate, if she needed to present, she may be using it to hype herself up. I wear cute stuff under my clothes when I have a big day ahead of me. It's actually a thing I've read for us women to do to make us feel badass. Also, could be she was planning to send you pictures of herself while she was away from you. Could be she hasn't reached out to you yet because she ended up not needing it, so didn't fully unpack and didn't even see it. But I'm always the type that says follow your gut instinct. Just sounds like you need to have a conversation with her about it since you have no other indications of an affair before you get too drastic and move out, especially since y'all have a kiddo. Just my 2 cents. The OP responds, I don't think she found my notes the first night as she called shortly after arriving at the hotel. It's been 2 nights and no pictures, so I don't think that's it. She has always wore lacy or frilly undergarments. They have always been a way to treat herself. No lingerie to wear to bed. I will press her to talk tonight. Another comment from Steven the Sailor. Since the new lingerie was hidden and she hasn't mentioned the condoms, I think she is busted. I think most innocent women would have burned up your phone when they found the condoms. You got silence. Sorry, man. Assume it's true and plan accordingly. Remember, she has had lots of time to come up with the most convincing stories, so don't just believe anything she tells you. I wanted to add that right now, she doesn't know how much you know, so use that to your advantage. Mike H. 1971 piles onto this. Absolutely. Had I done this to my wife, she would have called me ASAP after finding the condoms and note wanting to know what the F I was thinking. The silence is shock because she got busted. Rocketman 1957 says, 100% spot on. Give Me Your Scraps has another comment. I think the condoms were way over the top. You kind of blew it to actually catch her if she is. I would definitely pull the phone and text records to see, but wouldn't have set yourself up that way without anything else. Is she? Probably. But getting the records during the trip and before would have been a good start to get what you need. One more comment coming from Emergency Ad 3355. If you have a joint cell phone account, you can pull up her and your call logs. This will also include text numbers. Look for contact numbers that repeat over a short period of time. You can do a reverse lookup on those numbers. Check the numbers against people in her company. Most people cheat with coworkers. Check her email accounts and DM if you can. Check her phone when she returns. Do this without her knowing. If she has her phone locked, this could indicate cheating. Photo or copy all you find. Do not talk to your wife. Contact an attorney and present the evidence. Many companies have an employment morals clause. In short, no cheating with coworkers. Be ready to close all joint financial accounts, including credit cards. Be ready to notify your friends and family, including your child. Alright, enough comments. Now the second part of the story, after the conversation. First, a little background as I'm going to describe this from my wife's thinking. You should know about us. We both come from a small suburban town. We both grew up in fairly conservative families. Our families have known each other for years. We both went to a Christian school, then on to Christian college. We were high school sweethearts and each other's firsts. We did have sex in college, only with each other, if that means anything. We both have admitted to kissing someone else, but no more than that. We talked on the phone after her good night to our son. I said I would call back at 9 p.m. That is, if you're not busy. I know it was a smart aleck move. She did not answer, so I repeated I would call her at 9. 9 o'clock comes around. I call, and she is crying and blubbering. I wait. Then, as she calms down, I told her, we needed to talk this out. For now, I need to know her thinking. What have I done to make you want to cheat? How long have you been cheating? Who is it with? So this is some of what she told me. I listened and did not interrupt unless she went silent. The wife was promoted to a position that would require her to travel occasionally, essentially for training. The company always puts their people up in a nice hotel near the training. We have been to hotels ourselves, but always the more economy class. The hotels she has stayed in had restaurants and a bar. In 2019, she went to her first training requiring 2 overnights. She was with a couple others attending the training. She had the names of the people attending, and they all agreed to meet up for dinner the first night. They ate, then went to the bar. I imagine she was overwhelmed because we are not bars or club people. She says she was half listening to the conversation and watching everything. A woman walks into the bar dressed in a business suit. She has a lanyard around her neck. She could see it was an ID of sorts, as she had one also, but they were different companies. The woman sat at the bar chatting with the bartender. He got busy, so she was by herself. About 5 minutes later, a man walked over to get a drink and started a conversation. He got his drink and offered to buy her another. They talked about 15 minutes, got another drink, and moved to a table. Another drink comes, and they take the drinks and walk out of the bar together. My wife thought, I just saw a pickup that will be a one-night stand. The next night, after training and dinner, the group headed to the bar. In walks the woman dressed businesslike. This time she catches the ID from a large well-known company. The woman gets a drink and heads to a table as the bartender is too busy to talk. In a little while, a different man from the night before leaves his table and approaches her. She invites him to sit down. They have a couple drinks, and the same as night before, they head out together. My wife mentions it to the group. One of the more veteran employees told her that while it's not common for pickups, it's not uncommon either. There is the anonymity of a one-night stand between two adults that are lonely and little chance of being caught. This caught her interest, which then turned into fantasy. She had 3 or 4 more trainings that year. On some nights, she saw hookups, on others, she did not. 2020 came and travel was stopped, but her fantasies did not. When we had sex, she admitted thinking she was having a one-night stand. To be honest, we're not good at expressing what we want sexually, so she kept this just in her head. However, she had convinced herself she could have sex with someone else and would be able to separate the emotional from the physical. In April of this year, they started travel again. She traveled 2 nights. This time, there were 2 others with her. Same thing, dinner, then to the bar. They had drinks, but she saw no action. She had brought the lingerie. It's actually a one-piece that covers her breasts and torso. It's black and lacy. Now that I'm writing this, I forget what she called it. She left the bar with her coworkers, then circled back thinking she would get another drink and see if anything happens. She struck out both nights. In June, she had another training, for just 1 night. This time, she wore the lingerie beneath her clothes. She went to the bar. She was nursing her wine when a man that was at the bar brought over another glass and asked to sit down. They talked a bit. She was getting panicky as it was building up. He finally gets to, "Why don't we take these drinks upstairs?" She says she didn't say anything at first, then waggled her finger at him, stating she was married. He immediately waggled his, saying, "If you don't tell, I won't." She refused him. They continued to talk. Eventually, he excused himself to go to the restroom. She left and went to her room. She said she was sweating and almost hyperventilating. She swears nothing happened. So this week rolls around. She has a training, and there happens to be a conference in town for her field. She can get additional educational credits, so she signs up. The conference is in another hotel, but within walking distance as there are like 6 hotels all along this road near the airport. She does her training. As she is going to get dressed up, she discovers our notes and the condoms. She makes a call to our son, but could not face me, so she hangs up. She claims the conference was terrible as she could not concentrate. In fact, she thought she would be sick when she went back to her room and did not attend the afternoon session. So my son and I are waiting for her flight. We are sitting at baggage claim, him on his iPad watching a movie, me typing this up. If I missed putting in some details, I can fill in on comments. I will see if her story holds true as we talk tonight and through the weekend. I told her I was headed to my parents for the weekend, leaving her home alone, but decided to drop my son off instead so we can talk. Let's check in with some comments from the community again. Tycho Chassard says, "Well, your original red flag, gut instinct, has merit. So when you talk with her, most likely you will have a gut feeling if she is lying to you or telling the truth. The best scenario is she considered cheating on you and could not go through with it. The worst case is she went through with it and is lying to you. If she did not go through with it last time, she was taking the garment and going to try again this time. In either scenario, you both have a lot of work to do. Keep us updated and good luck." One final thought comes from Kemper67. OP, if she is not lying, and that is a big if, cheaters lie, remember that, then she needs to quit her job immediately. If traveling is giving her the urge to cheat, then she needs to remove the opportunities and then seek individual counseling. If I was in your shoes, these things would be non-negotiable. If she refuses, then have her pack her things. Go live in one of those hotels and you file for divorce. There have to be consequences for her actions. She took lingerie and was looking for the opportunity to cheat. Consider that, if you had not left her a note and condoms, she would have gone through with it. She needs to know you are not a doormat. You will not be taken advantage of, and you will be nobody's second choice. Good luck. Stay strong now, or be played for a fool in the future.